This is a video about replacing the lock and pawl mechanism in a 1984 Blazer. It's a military Blazer, so it's technically a M1009 CUCV, but it's the same as a civilian Blazer with regard to the rear lift gate, the rear window lift, manual lift for the window. So what we have is a new piece purchased off from eBay, and this piece is in pretty good condition. Obviously it's brand new, so everything is the way it is supposed to be, so one would think. I had to slightly modify it, and that's really what prompted me to make this video. Is there's not a lot of material on the internet about replacing this mechanism correctly, especially replacing the key portion of the mechanism, which requires you to insert this spring and pawl device into the back of this piece. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm going to show you what I had to do to modify this piece in order to make it work. It really wasn't much of a modification. It was basically just deburring it from the factory. But it took me a day to figure out that it needed the deburring and not that there was something I was doing wrong. Again, there's not much information on the internet regarding these pieces and how to replace them. So I'm going to show you the old pieces, and you can see what the broken pieces look like. These pieces that I'm showing you right now, the gasket, the key mechanism with the key, that's the clutch right there. They call that the clutch. That actually cranks it actually connects with the window regulator inside the tailgate of the vehicle and cranks the window up and down. And this is the pawl and spring, and that goes, like I said, inside of this thing right here. So, along with the key mechanism. So what happens is somebody comes to the back of your vehicle trying to get something out, and if you didn't lock your vehicle, they can crank the window up and down. Now, people that don't own Blazers or Suburbans in the mid-80s range, what they'll do is they'll crank the wrong way, and they'll crank really, really hard, and they'll break this mechanism. And then it looks something like this. I'll show you the old one. That's the old clutch. This is called the clutch. And you can see one half is broken off. This is the new clutch, and both sides are on this clutch. So actually I borrowed this vehicle to my 16-year-old son, and a friend of his at school was trying to get something out of the back. And so he wrenched on it really, really hard, and that's what happened. Also, I'll show you the old mechanism, the old crank mechanism, and what happened. You can see that, I'll compare the new one to the old one, and you can see that the old one was beat up pretty well by this kid. He torqued on it pretty hard and broke it. So the pawl and the spring, remember those pieces, fell out somewhere into the bottom of the tailgate. And of course the clutch was broken, so the handle just spun freely. That was the symptom of it needing to be replaced. So he brought it home and said, somebody broke my truck. Fortunately, we were able to get $110 out of this young man so that we could replace the parts. So I ordered these from LMT Truck. I got the gasket, I got the key mechanism, as I was saying before. I got a brand new clutch. I get rid of the old one here. I've got this little circlip type of thing that goes around and holds the clutch on. The spring and the pawl, and these are the old bolts that hold this whole thing together into the tailgate. And I'll get rid of this old one as well. I don't need to see that anymore. So here's the tricky part. When you're trying to insert the key mechanism into, well, actually the key mechanism, the spring, and the pawl into this new window crank, it should go together pretty easily. Unfortunately, this one did not, because inside of this mechanism there was some little areas that needed to be deburred, and right down in here, I don't know if you can see that or not, but this is where it needed to be deburred, inside of there, because the pawl and the spring go in here, and the pawl would not go all the way in, so I could not get the key mechanism to lock into this portion of the window crank. So I'm going to show you, after I mount this camera on a tripod, how to put those two pieces together, and then the information will be forever on the internet. So stand by.